Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay. Wow, what's happening? Okay. Hi, my name is Olivia Singer, and these are kind of my costume and scene designs for A Lonely Impulse of Delight that I kind of came up with. So, the first thing is Jim. I want to talk about Jim. So, he is very clean cut. He has his little mustache, but he keeps the rest of his jawline very clean. He takes care of his hair. His clothes are super nice. He always walks very properly. All aspects of his appearance are super proper. He always dresses up even if he's not going anywhere. So he'll always look super fancy. He looks suitable, especially for women. He's a big charmer, as you can see right here. He's charming and handsome, but he also likes to let loose and party sometimes. So here we see he can drink, have some cigars, relax, and when he does that, he can flirt with as many women as much as he likes. I chose dark colors for him because he doesn't want to stand out too much. He always has his pocket watch on him so that he is always punctual and can tell the time and responsible. And then when he's meeting women, not at a party, he's kind and gentle, so he's very gentlemanlike. He's a respectful suitor for all kinds of women. Everyone wants him. Even fathers want him as a suitor for their daughters. Um, Jim was inspired by the idea of a classic handsome man in the Victorian era. So when I think of Jim, I just think like a classy, handsome guy from this era. Okay, and then here we have Walter. Do we? Okay. So here we have Walter. He is more carefree about his appearance. He wears lighter, more casual clothing. He doesn't really care to be fashionable or classy. His hair is always just kind of wild. He's not very clean shaven, really. His clothes are loose, not too fancy. He's not unattractive, but he's not exactly a heartthrob. So he's more of a hopeless romantic, kind of longing to find his soulmate that he can love forever. He's not really one to just woo women and flirt. He likes to read. He is very knowledgeable, but he's just a hopeless romantic. And I was loosely inspired of the whole idea of Walter from Stefan Salvatore from the Vampire Diaries because of his messy hair, interesting love choices, and his longing for the love of his life. These two characters are constantly throughout their entire life looking for their soulmate, and also they are from the same time period around, well, what I think, around the late 1800s Victorian era. So he doesn't care what people think about him except for his best friend. So Stefan Salvatore also has a best friend, his brother, who that's the only opinion he really cares of. And that reminded me a lot of Walter because Walter doesn't care about anyone else but his best friend Jim. That's the only opinion that matters to him, like, period. This is why Walter wants to prove so desperately to Jim that his love is real. He's not making it up, he's not crazy. He's in love with a mermaid, and she's real. He just really wants to prove it. Okay, and then we go to the scene design. So, This is kind of taking place at a time where almost everyone else is asleep. It's a little majestic because everyone else is asleep. There's a very small group of people awake in the world. Walter and Jim are waiting by the lake. Here we can see the moon is shining on the lake, trees in the wind. Here they are, just kind of running down to the lake. The lake is just a short walk away from the party, the drinks, the loud conversations. So, kind of the only proof of life that's going on is just a short walk away from this lake where they are at now. So they wait for her to emerge from the water. Walter says that he only sees her between 2 and 2:30 in the morning. So it's super specific. And he has a whole ritual. He has to hold out this little plastic pumpkin that lights up, and he calls her name over and over again. So at 2:10 in the morning, that's what they do. They sit on the edge of the lake and they wait for her while Walter calls out, "Sally, Sally." He's desperately calling out. Jim is skeptical. He tries to wait, but eventually he gives up. He thinks that Walter's crazy. He doesn't believe him at all. So he gives up, he leaves, he goes back to the party or whatever. So now Walter's all alone. And then when Walter's all alone, Sally finally appears. His solitary, unprovable, deepest, only love. She starts speaking like in a ghostly voice, and a light appears shining from her that kind of draws Walter in. And that's kind of what I envisioned here with her long, like, serpentine mermaid tail. And she shines a light onto Walter's face, kind of pulling him into the water, kind of like that. So that was kind of my thought process on the designs. I just kind of thought of Jim to be more of like a heartthrob fancy guy, and Walter like a hopeless romantic who doesn't really care what he looks like, but he wants to prove so badly to the one person he cares about that he has this true love, and he's unable to. So it's just a little bit sad to me. But yeah, that is done. So thank you so much.